Welcome to Wellness Rebranded.
We know there is so much conflicting health and fitness advice out there.
And you're tired of the wellness fads, endless diets, and impossible standards that make you feel like nothing you do is ever enough.
You're ready to tune into your mind and body and feel empowered around health.
We're the Healing Trio here to help you redesign your relationships with food, fitness, and yourself.
I'm Elizabeth, registered dietitian and certified intuitive eating counselor.
I'm Maria, licensed mental health therapist.
And I'm Tara, personal trainer.
Together, we're changing the narrative on health away from diet culture, hustle culture, and toxic positivity and towards healthful self-care.
So grab your water bottle, get ready to laugh, learn, and grow, and let's start rebranding your wellness journey.
So, ladies, I had a conversation with a client the other day that I have had, to be honest, numerous times, but there was something about this particular conversation that really stuck with me. It was our initial intake session, and I was asking her, a million questions like I usually do.
You ask a million questions?
Well, close to it.
1,000,001 probably.
Yeah. Just, really trying to get to know I always tell people the first session is me asking, I'm just going to ask you
a million questions.
A million questions, because I want to understand as much as I can about you and your lifestyle and your relationship with food and body and movement and like what's worked for you and what doesn't work for you. And so it just really is me asking a bajillion questions. Okay. But they're usually, in fact, we totally digress already. We're like a minute in. But the other day I had my whole initial intake session with someone. And then like before we even pivoted to like anything, she said, this is such a helpful conversation. And I immediately know where I'm going off track. And I was like, wow, I didn't even say anything yet.
I wish everything was that
right.
quick.
But my point is like, it gives me a lot of clarity, but it gives people a lot of clarity too. Because asking questions that I think people don't normally think about or put it together quite that way. And anyway, we digress. So we had this conversation. I was asking her about fitness, and she said, no, I'm not very active. It is definitely a sore spot in my life. I would like to be more active, but something stops me. And I said, do you not really enjoy it? And she said, well, I guess I must not enjoy it at some level. She said, I like walking. And she said, I think about going to the gym. I think about doing a fitness class. I have a girlfriend who asks me all the time to go to Pilates or yoga with her. And she said, I kind of want to, but to be honest, like I'm scared because I don't feel fit and I'm not accustomed to doing those things. And I worry that, or I know when I show up, I'll be looking at everyone else and feeling really self-conscious. I'll be comparing kind of what I can do to what they can do, and they know the moves and I don't know the moves, and they look a certain way and I may or may not look that way. And it just it was a very heartfelt conversation. She was very, I would say, like there was a lot of emotion around it. And it is a conversation that I have a lot with people. And Tara, you and I were talking about it in my training session this morning, and we thought, let's talk about it on the pod.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I feel like none of that you said is new to me. I hear things like that a lot too, where people are either like scared to go into the gym, which is kind of a whole separate thing, or they get in the gym and they're like comparing everything about them to everyone around them. And it's like, frankly, not very helpful.
Yeah, but it's a barrier.
Yeah.
Right?
So like I have some thoughts. The first thing I want to point out to everyone is that the people who know the least are the quickest to jump out there and tell you what they think you're doing wrong.
Isn't that true in life, really?
It just feels like it. I actually had an experience the other day. I was training someone, and this woman has like a really fascinating job, and she has to be able to pull herself out of the water, like the ocean, and into like a zodiac. Right? So she is training like pull-ups, and she has a very specific way she has to do it because of how the handles are on the boat. And so I had her doing pull-ups in this particular way because I'm her trainer and I know the things. And this dude came over to us and was like, oh, hey, actually your hand should be like this. And I'm like, sir, first of all, I'm standing right here.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, oh my God, are you an award-winning personal trainer that I haven't met yet? Oh, wait, because I am. But she was very quick to be like, I'm with my trainer. Please don't interrupt my session. I'm paying for this. Unless you want to kick in, like, mind your business. But the point is, like, this dude didn't know
right
what she was training for. And he was so quick to come over and be like, oh, do it like this.
Yeah.
And I find that that is true like over and over and over again.
But wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Maria has such an intense look on her face right now.
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts, but before I share those, I've seen people like I was at the gym one time and I was doing something wrong and somebody came and told me how to use the machine the right way. And I was so thankful.
Yes, I think it can be both, right? Like if you have no idea what you're doing and you're standing there looking at the machine like, how the heck does this thing work? If someone comes over who's been there a million times and says, oh, hey, you adjust the seat like this. Like, I think that's really, really helpful. There are also people who will tell you how to do it and sound very confident and they have no idea what they're doing.
Right. But I think there's like sometimes even a community inside a gym, like people try to,
Hopefully.
be
Which
there for
probably
each
also
other.
is like another hurdle if you're not already part of the community, right? Walking into any existing community group of people and you are the outsider.
So like a little scary.
Well, at least for me as an introvert, like that's
Same.
a hurdle. But before we hear Maria's thoughts, I feel like we should just hold space for a second for people who feel this way because it's totally understandable and you're not alone.
And it's so common.
Yeah, I just wanted to hold space for a second.
Well, it is a vulnerable space.
Yeah.
And it's okay to normalize and recognize that gyms can be a space that makes you feel out of your comfort zone and more self-conscious. And this person you talk to is not alone. That happens to me too.
Yeah, and frankly, not even just the gym, right? If you're not used to exercising, then the idea of getting started likely feels overwhelming, of course.
Yeah. And even beyond that, like exercise in and of itself sometimes doesn't feel great.
True.
Like it's a little uncomfortable when you're doing it, especially if you haven't gotten really out of breath and sweaty before, especially if you haven't
Especially
moved.
when your trainer makes you do squats and lunges a gazillion times.
Yeah,
Even though you've expressly said you don't like them.
those are always uncomfortable, to be honest. But it's good for you, so we do it.
She says that a lot, folks.
It's true. Absolutely true. Thinking about launching a podcast or taking yours to the next level? Juliana Barbati and her team are the experts you need. They take care of everything from episode funnel design to production and marketing, so you can focus on creating content that connects. Check out julianabarbati.com and mention that we sent you.
So I would have a question for this person because now an emotional well-being or mental health comes to mind. Does this only happen when this person goes to the gym? Or in my case, does it only happen when they go to the gym? Or is something that happens frequently when in front of other people? Because our brains are wired to scan for social threats, right? And this is an important question because, yes, we could recommend somebody going to the gym maybe when it's not as busy. If this is something, then there are hours that maybe you feel more comfortable going to the gym. If this is happening in different areas, it is important to talk about and maybe finding support for that, because then we could be talking about other things that is affecting your life. Because yes, I think the fear here is not about fitness, right? It's about the fear of judgment or comparison or feeling not good enough or feeling that everybody is looking at you when in reality they are not. But remember, our brains can play all these tricks on us that are not necessarily based on evidence. So that would be a good question that I would ask myself. When does this happen? How often? And how much is affecting my life? Why are you smiling while I'm saying this?
I'm just smiling to myself because I'm thinking that might be like the most therapist thing Maria's ever said on the pod.
Ever. I totally agree.
Or are you
And
thinking
that
that
is
too?
funny because
It was so wise and of course makes total sense. But I was chuckling to myself like, dang, it's not often that I'm like, Maria screams therapist to me, but that was one of those moments.
Totally.
sorry, I am a therapist.
And
It happens to be that I am a therapist.
and we love you for it.
We do. That's why you're here.
I mean, obviously that's an excellent question
right.
and thought-provoking.
Because, I mean, think about it. It's a gym forget it's a gym. Any social space with a bunch of strangers in very tight clothing doing something for their health, but also their physical appearance I mean, it's all the variables to be very threatening.
And frankly, I always think what's happening with food, what's happening in our relationship with our body, what's happening with our relationship with movement, like that's such almost like a metaphor for everything else happening in your life, right? Like, or it reflects what's happening elsewhere. So, yeah.
So I want to
Same thing.
say, like, in terms of gym community, like most gyms have a very strong community and simultaneously are very welcoming and inclusive to like new people. Like if you just show up a few times and like smile and nod at a handful of people that you recognize from yesterday, like you'll be in the community. It's really easy to like become a part of it.
Is that one of the things you love about them, Tara?
Yeah, it
I
is.
can tell because you're like lighting up as you talk about it.
Like, I
And I'm
think it's
thinking
really
back-
scary sometimes to go into the gym and there's like people sweating and grunting and all, like,
Yeah.
it can be a scary place. But like the friendliest people are the dude bros,
Yeah.
like the big scary ones that grunt a lot.
Yeah. It's been years and years and years, like 10 years or more since I have worked out in a gym. And I never really thought of it as how I was. But before that, I worked out in a gym that turns out you used to work at, although we didn't know each other then.
Yeah, probably at the same time we worked
And
there.
I was there, you know, like many, many times a week, but I never really thought about it, how I was part of the community. But as you were talking, I'm thinking back, I'm like, yeah, I definitely was.
And like within the gym, there are different communities, right? There's like the personal trainers with their clients kind of form like one little subgroup
Yeah,
of the
the group
community.
fitness people.
The group fitness people, the yoga people, like they're all their own little
daycare.
communities. The daycare moms, totally.
Yeah.
You know?
So this whole conversation is also making me think about something you said this morning. So Tara, for people who don't know, our very own Tara DeLion, as Maria calls her, has recently left the gym, right? And branched out as her own entrepreneur. Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
Okay.
late.
I should have asked. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. I've been open for a month now.
But you...
So exciting.
It is so exciting. Yay. We're like congratulating Tara. She's full-fledged entrepreneur on her own, training people and doing lots of other wonderful things. But you mentioned how the new space you're in doesn't have mirrors and how much that's like such a simple thing.
Yeah.
And yet you said so many of your clients are really commenting on it and like it's making them so happy.
Totally. So the gym I've been at for the past 8 years has mirrors everywhere, as most gyms do. And to me, I was like completely neutral about mirrors. Like sometimes they're good for checking form, or you can like take a cute selfie in it, like whatever, neutral. But this new space I'm in has no mirrors at all. And ironically, it has like 10 whiteboards in it, which is weird, but no mirrors. And I've had so many people over the past month be like, oh, there's no mirrors here. Weird. I love it.
Yeah, I have to say, I think I would like it better too. Like, I think, so I haven't really gone to a gym in a long time, but for a while I was going to bar class and there are mirrors there and it is distracting. I think it's distracting,
Also ironic because you have mirrors in your gym.
but I'm the only one there. So what distracted me
Is looking at the other people.
is two things, looking at the other people and then also looking at myself, like the self-objectifying
Yes.
piece of like, is my hair messed up? Like, how do I look? Like what, all the things you wish you weren't doing, but having mirrors there promotes that.
Yeah.
And you're right. I do have them in my gym at home, but I'm the only person there. So I don't do it. I don't care what I look like.
Right. And you look for form, right? Make sure like your body's in certain positions and things like that. So like they have a place,
I
but
don't know. Do I? I mean, I rely on you to do that.
that's true. I actually use them to like when you're out of the frame, look in the mirror with the angles.
Now, going back to this conversation, because I have a couple other thoughts.
Okay.
For somebody who's feeling
Is this like therapist Maria or just like Maria?
I don't know what's happening today.
Okay.
I woke up like this. Now you're having me forget the thoughts. But so talking about somebody who feels intimidated about a gym and now the mirrors. I hear you talk about the mirrors. I'm thinking, I don't even know if the gym I've been to like 3 times because I don't go to the gym, but has mirrors. But what I do, and this is just me, I play music and it's my time with myself. Like I play that music so loud in my AirPods or whatever they're called, that is like a moment with me and the machine. And I'm like doing the exercise at the rhythm of the music. Like I'm not paying attention to what other people are doing. But think about it, it's also like a personal work. Like for somebody to go to the gym is almost like exposure therapy, because the confidence is not going to come, or feeling comfortable is not going to come before you go to the gym. It's going to come because you go to the gym, right? So it's like any other social places, like maybe I was really scared about going to parties where I didn't know anybody. Now I just go and I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, and I am the very first minutes when I don't know anybody. And then here I come with my accent, hoping that people are friendly, and I just start talking, and it's very, very uncomfortable and vulnerable. But I try it, and sometimes it goes great, and other times I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to...
Time to go home.
Maybe I'm going to say I have a tummy ache, I have diarrhea, and I'm just going to leave.
Well, that's very specific.
Yeah, so that's less embarrassing than just staying there awkwardly.
Note to self: if Maria ever tells me she has diarrhea at a party, she really probably doesn't.
I mean, that's what I do. And I say, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I don't know. I ate something that didn't sit well with me. I have to go. Or I just go. I mean, that's the thing. At this point, I don't even care. Like, I just go. And then people, oh, you left. Yeah, I know. Like, I had to.
My brother's the master of this. He'll like leave wherever we are and just like silently disappear, and who knows?
Don't they call that an Irish goodbye?
Yeah,
I don't know why.
But
absolutely
at this point,
perfect at it.
The point is that you start, what is the saying? Like you start wetting your feet in the water, right? And you go for a little bit, and then you see how that.
I think
feels.
it's dipping your toes in the water.
Exactly.
I was going to say, is that a saying?
No, but I just made it up.
Okay.
No, it's the same meaning though. What's the difference between feet in the water and dipping your toes where?
In dipping your toes in.
Okay,
I didn't realize that was the expression you were going for.
Tara did. Thank you, Tara. Thank God for you. So now I forgot. The point is
exposure therapy and dipping.
Yes,
I think your point was like you're not going to be comfortable before you get there. Right? Like the comfort level is going to come from
with practice.
With anything, with trying it.
And if going to the gym is not for you, that's fine too. But I would invite people to, whether it's the gym, anything, the gym, the party you got invited to, the grocery store when it's packed with people, unless you are suffering from significant social anxiety, and this is something that you need to work with a professional. But otherwise, pushing ourselves a little bit and understanding that everybody's actually paying attention to their own thing. And maybe this is a moment that you could have for yourself, even in a public place.
Also, I feel like the mindset that we bring into it matters, right? Like if you were going to suddenly learn a new language, you wouldn't expect that you're going to show up at the class the first day speaking the language. And if you are new to group fitness or fitness in general or the gym, we shouldn't expect that we're going to show up knowing what to do, right? If we take on a learner's mindset of like, this is something new that I'm trying, is a different headspace to be in versus having an expectation that you're supposed to know what to do.
I love that analogy because it is kind of like learning a new culture, learning a new language. Like, so what are sets and reps? What's creatine?
True.
What's adenosine triphosphate? Like, what's progressive overload? Like, you probably don't know those.
By the way, you don't need to
things.
know any of those things. You just made it sound really intimidating, Tara.
Sorry.
Well, no, because when you said that, I'm thinking even when you learn a new language, you can still, how you say, butcher some words.
Butcher, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then
Good
you're
job
still
illustrating
learning, you're still learning the language, right? And that counts. Those few words of the new language that you learned count.
Well, honestly, you probably learn more from messing it up than getting it right, frankly, right? I do.
And you don't have to speak it fluently to actually communicate and enjoy it. So same with the gym. You don't have to speak it fluently to get some benefit from it.
Yeah. I often give people the analogy when they're on their intuitive eating journey of you're basically learning a new eating language. And in the beginning, it is probably going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to consume a lot more of your mental energy and mind space. Like imagine when you're learning a new language, right? You need to know, how do you say the word for this? And how do I conjugate that phrase? And what's that person actually saying to me? And like thinking really hard. And then as you get to know it, it just happens naturally. And I often give that analogy of like dieting starts out easy, right? And then because you're excited and you're motivated and you have the willpower and you have the rules, and then it gets harder. And then intuitive eating is the opposite. Like it starts out harder, it gets easier. But it just made me think as you were talking, it is also its own language that you're learning.
Yeah.
Dude, and I think there's a couple ways you could approach this. If you are feeling like, intimidated and you don't want to compare yourself to others and things like that, you could start by going to the gym and doing something that is familiar to you. For example, like a treadmill is something that most people are familiar with. And while you're on the treadmill, you're like looking around at the people that are maybe on the circuit, or maybe they're in the group fitness studio, or maybe they're lifting weights in the dude bro area, right? So you're getting more familiar with like the cultural customs of those areas just by observing while doing something that you're comfortable with. And also, like, nobody learns a foreign language by themselves. So maybe you hire the trainer to do the 2 free sessions or whatever. Like, every gym in the world does a free session or 2 with new members. Like, take advantage of that.
Honestly, that's exactly what I suggested to her is when you're ready, it would be great to have a trainer who can hold your hand through it, and it can just be the 2 of you.
And a final reminder, movement and exercise does not only come from going to a gym.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Correct.
again, ladies, these 2 go to gyms and exercises.
I don't go to the gym.
Okay, well, you have a trainer.
Yeah.
Apparently a very good trainer.
Supposedly.
Yes.
Allegedly.
I don't have a trainer. I dance and then I move my body other ways. So whatever makes your body move, it counts, right?
Yep.
So, ladies, if we were to leave people with sort of like a reminder or an affirmation or an action for the week based on this conversation, what do we want to leave people with?
Confidence sometimes comes from not before you do something, but because you do it.
Yeah, I actually love that.
Yeah. And also, if you just need some like gym etiquette guidance, like reach out to me.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Good point.
And if you like this episode, I would also encourage you to check out all the way a million years ago, episode number 2. We did a whole episode on gym anxiety specifically. So like that might be helpful to you.
Thank you for listening. If you want to connect with me outside of this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at coaching_therapist.
I'm Elizabeth. You can find me at Elizabeth Harris Nutrition or in my Facebook group, Health and Healing with Intuitive Eating.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Tara DeLeon Fitness. Guys, if you loved this episode or any of our other episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcast. It really, really helps us get the non-diet word out to the rest of the world. So please leave us a review.
Yes, thank you.